Peggy 16.
Death is like the winter chill. No door can keep it from us. And summer yet may bloom again, though ice be all upon us.
My child, there is so much to tell you that I have run out of time. The sacrifice I made was not enough. The dark gods still feed on our transgressions. Corruption. Obsession. Deceit. Rage. You must face these demons.
It's time for Total War Warhammer 3. Get hyped. I know I bloody am. I'm super excited. This announcement trailer, easily my favorite one that they've done for this trilogy of Warhammer games. Wow. I'm so excited. I mean, Kislev's in there. They've announced there's going to be Cathay as well via the FAQ and the Steam store info. Demons of Chaos, obviously. I mean, people have been speculating and saying for a while, Game 3, it's surely all going to be about chaos and all of that stuff. I'm super excited to see Kislev in that starting lineup, though, because Bear Cavalry, we saw them there in that trailer. Yes, I'm Lionheart. I will probably end up getting this new fancy cavalry killed, but still, Bear Cavalry, they look amazing. And there's so much else in that trailer that I'm hyped about and excited about. I can't contain myself right now. What was your favorite moment from that trailer? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm going to be asking you guys loads of questions, so feel free to get crazy in the comments. Let me know loads of stuff. If there's kind of enough information for us to kind of dissect and follow up in another kind of discussion type video like this, then I'll probably do that in about a week's time. And if you'd like to see that, let me know as well. But yeah, we're going to dive into the FAQ that Creative Assembly have provided alongside this announcement trailer, as well as the Steam store information. And big thanks to Creative Assembly for giving me a little bit of early access with this FAQ info and the trailers so I could make this video ready for the announcement trailer drop today. But before we dive into all that info, I just want to give you guys a bit of a heads up about what my content plans are going to be for Total War Warhammer 3 here on the channel. Now, obviously, we don't have a set release date. It does say coming 2021. So at some point this year, it will be launching. From announcement trailers that they've done in the past, I think it's typically about 6 to 7 months from the announcement trailer to when they release. Obviously, pandemic, might have a delay or a longer kind of time in between announcement trailer and release. Personally, when people have been asking me in the past when do I think that Warhammer 3 is going to come out, I've been saying end of Q3, start of Q4 this year. That's when I've been sort of speculating for the release date. So I reckon September-ish. That's what I think. What do you guys think? When do you think the release date is going to be? If you want to get super specific and go all in on a day and month, then feel free to let me know down in the comment section. But yeah, with that in mind, my content plan for Warhammer 3, just like I did with Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, I'm going to be doing 3 Let's Plays here on the channel at launch. 2 of them will be dedicated straight to YouTube video only series, and the third one will be a series that I do on my Twitch channel, live stream it throughout the week, record it at the same time to then upload regularly here on YouTube as well. What does that mean for any existing content that I'll have going on at that time? Basically, I'll probably put the vast majority of it on hold for 3 to 4 weeks. It's what I've done in the past. It's worked fairly well, taking a little bit of a break there. I'll cycle it back in with 1 or 2 uploads a week if I can. I might move some of that existing content to be content that I stream. It kind of just depends. Obviously, my focus is going to be on Warhammer 3, so the vast majority of the videos I make and the streams that I do will be focused on that. But I'll try and drip feed back in the pre-existing Let's Plays if I've not finished them up. Obviously, it will be my goal to try and finish up Let's Plays for whenever Warhammer 3 launches or for whenever I get early access and I can start releasing content for you guys. So that's kind of the general plan. Obviously, I can't be any more specific than that because we just don't have any more information. But yeah, just want to give you guys a heads up on that. And obviously, once I complete a Let's Play, we'll be diving into, another Legendary Lord, another faction, and just playing through. We'll just keep on going. There'll be DLC releases, I'm sure. And obviously, eventually we'll get the massive Mortal Empires 2.0 or whatever it's going to be called added in as well. And that's just going to expand the game even more. So yeah, let's dive on in to... Actually, first of all, let's take a look at the Steam store information. That kind of just sets the tone and the general description of the game, what to expect. And then we'll dive into the FAQ, which answers probably the vast majority of questions people are going to have right now. So yeah, we've got a short description from the store page. The cataclysmic conclusion to the Total War Warhammer trilogy is coming. Rally your forces and step into the realm of chaos, a dimension of mind-bending horror where the very fate of the world will be decided. Will you conquer your demons or command them? So I mean, that, just picking that apart briefly, obviously we're going to have the big, massive, combined Mortal Empires 2.0 map, which will stitch game 1, 2, and 3's maps and areas and factions all together. But this kind of makes me think that the Vortex campaign for Warhammer 3 is going to be taking place in the realm of chaos itself. Or obviously a lot of people have been speculating it would take place over in the east of the map. And obviously we know where Kislev is already, and Cathay is further to the east as well. So are you going to be playing across that swathe of land and then go into another? Is there going to be kind of another layer to the map where you go into the dimension of chaos, the realm of chaos? Or is it just going to take place, in the realm of chaos? You've sent your forces in. How's that going to work? What are your thoughts on that? But yeah, it seems like there could be some interesting campaign map mechanics. I kind of hope that it's some kind of like layered map, that you have the eastern part of the old world and what have you from Kislev pushing east over the mountains and what have you, but then also there's something where, I don't know, there's a rip in time, space, whatever's going on, and you slip into the realm of chaos and then the map changes and you're somewhere else. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's preposterous. We'll find out, I guess, in time. So what else have we got? We've got store page description. Far beyond the world and its petty wars, there exists a dimension of pure malevolent magic, the realm of chaos. It is a terrible place, incomprehensible to the mortal mind. It whispers promise of power, but to behold it is to be seduced by it, to relinquish your soul to it, to become it. The 4 ruinous powers rule over this place, ever seeking to slip their bonds and engulf the world in a tide of demonic corruption. Nurgle, the plague god, Slaanesh, the lord of excess, Tzeentch, the changer of ways, and Khorne, the god of blood and slaughter. On the border between the world's 2 mighty kingdoms stand sentinel, the stern warriors of Kislev and the vast empire of Grand Cathay. but each is beset by its own trials, and now both have cause to cross the threshold and send their armies into the realm of chaos. So yeah, that kind of reinforces what I was speculating before. It looks like you'll have like the standard kind of old world map in that east section. I don't know if that's called the old world, that eastern section. Someone of you will probably let me know. Is it like the Great Plains or something like that? Do not know. Feel free to lure me up or point me at some resources that I should check out to get myself ready for game 3. But yeah, it kind of seems like you'll be, have your own, I guess, early game, a couple of missions to sort out maybe some rebels and some nearby threats, and then it will be building up. Or then it'd be interesting to see what the faction mechanics are going to be. Or obviously, like the Vortex campaign, you had the race for the Vortex for each race that they were working towards that. I assume there's going to be a similar sort of mechanic that will have you gathering your forces, gathering your strength, and then at a certain point you'll be able to send your forces into the realm of chaos itself. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the map, where you go, or is it like a quest battle thing or something like that. Hopefully it's a full map kind of layer, as I've said before, that you go onto. It's going to be very interesting to see how they implement all of that. Okay, finally we've got the world stands on a precipice. A single push will plunge it into cataclysm, and there is one who schemes to achieve just that. An ancient figure who desires nothing less than to wield supreme power. But to succeed, he will need a champion. Coming conflict will engulf all. Will you conquer your demons or command them? So, this last little bit, who is that referencing to? Again, lure me up. Let me know your speculation, your thoughts on this in the comment section. And also, is this somehow related to the figure that smirks right at the end of the trailer? Who is that? He's been appearing in the teasers that CA have been dropping the past few days. There's this hooded figure clutching a book, a tome of some kind in the background that's got the same clothing on as that character. Is he the advisor that we've seen in other trailers and is referenced obviously in game with cinematics and things like that? He often announces the doom stack, the doom tide in the campaign. Is that him? Or he kind of looks a little bit different, or is it someone completely different, someone else? Let me know your thoughts on that. Anyway, that is the Steam store description. We're now going to dive into the FAQ because there's a lot of interesting information here. So, kicking things off, which platforms will Total War Warhammer 3 be available on? It's going to be available on PC and will be available as close to launch day as possible on Mac OS and Linux, thanks to Feral Interactive, and they've been doing all the ports previously for Warhammer 2 and all the DLC, and they've been doing it for quite some time. Feral Interactive are also the ones that have done Rome Total War on iPad as well. So yeah, they've done some really cool stuff there. So obviously, yeah, it will be out on PC on launch day and soon after available for Mac OS and Linux. Which stores will Total War Warhammer 3 be available through? You'll be able to pick up a copy of Total War Warhammer 3 on both Steam and the Epic Games Store at launch. So obviously Creative Assembly did do an Epic exclusivity deal for Total War Saga Troy. They did say they weren't ever planning to do further exclusivity deals. What they're actually hoping to do is that with some of the funding from that and just their plans going forward would be to do simultaneous releases of their games across multiple storefronts going forward. And here we go. Warhammer 3 is the first one to release on multiple storefronts simultaneously. Obviously, it does have some implications if you want to stitch together game 1, 2, and 3 for Mortal Empires. And we'll just read through some of that. They do have another bit in the FAQ saying, is it going to be a content exclusive to a particular store? No, all Total War Warhammer 3 content will be released simultaneously, so it's not going to be like an Epic Games exclusive pack or a Steam exclusive pack. It's going to be the same content across both of those stores at launch. Will Total War Warhammer and Total War Warhammer 2 be available on the Epic Games Store in the future? And they say they hope that they'll be able to add these games and their DLC to the Epic Games Store before Total War Warhammer 3 launches. Now, obviously, some of you are going to have some questions about combinations. What if you have some content over on Steam and some over on Epic? How does that work? So actually, they've already got that question in there. It says, can I purchase DLC for the Total Warhammer games that you own on one store and on another, and vice versa? It says, currently, it's not possible to track the different Total War Warhammer content that you own across multiple storefronts. So for example, if you buy Total War Warhammer on Epic, you would need to also then buy the DLC on Epic as well. So you can't buy, you can't have the DLC for Warhammer 1 on Steam and then buy Warhammer 1 on Epic and expect that DLC to come on over, as there's currently no way for them to kind of link accounts. They do say that they are hoping at some point in the future, they're not giving a set date to this because they're still working on it, but they are hoping to introduce functionality through their Total War Access portal that will allow you in the future to link your Steam and Epic accounts through Total War Access together to be able to play and purchase games and DLC on any storefront that you wish. I will quickly jump down a question because it's just talking about macOS and Linux, and we've already said about that. Crossplay, though, because some of you are going to be thinking, okay, if they're introducing both Steam and Epic games and you're not able to, share DLC across, does that mean that there's not going to be any crossplay, that we're going to have fractured multiplayer? And this question here, will Total War Warhammer 3 have Steam and Epic Game Store cross-store multiplayer? And they say, yes, we intend to support cross-store multiplayer at launch. Good, because they dropped the ball massively with multiplayer with Troy. I mean, is anyone playing Troy multiplayer? Yeah. Hopefully they've got all that sorted out now. They've learned from that, and they're actually going one step further to enable it as cross-store multiplayer from launch, which is going to be good. Okay, early adopter bonus. Next question. Total Warhammer 3 is available for pre-order now, but I don't see any mention of a pre-order incentive or an early adopter bonus. Is there one? CA's response, yes, we will be revealing our early adopter bonus in the coming months, regardless of when you pre-order. You can either do that right now or closer to release. You'll still get the same bonus. As with their previous early adopter bonuses, it'll also be gifted to anyone who pre-orders or buys the game in the first week after release. So you'll still be able to claim the early adopter bonus for free up to a week after the game has launched. So, if you want to wait until you've seen gameplay, till you've had friends, or you've seen some YouTubers, streamers play it till reviews have come out, as long as you then still pick it up within that first launch week, you'll still get the early adopter bonus for free. They said they're going to be sharing some more information about what the early adopter bonus is going to be in the next few months. So if you want to wait until you know more before placing your order, you can do. In terms of, am I going to have a special deal or link? There might already be one in the description of this video. I doubt it, just because I'm assuming Games Planet don't yet know what the pricing and pre-order is going to be. But as soon as I have a juicy discount for you guys on the game where you can pre-order and also support the channel at the same time, I will make a video, make some content about that. Obviously, this early adopter bonus, seeing as there's, speculated there's one DLC left for Warhammer 2. CA said with Twist of the Twilight, when that came out, that was not going to be the last DLC for Warhammer 2. It kind of makes sense then that maybe the next and final DLC for Warhammer 2 is also going to be that early adopter bonus, like they did with Norska for Warhammer 2 when it was a Warhammer 1 DLC that kind of fed on in. What do you guys reckon? Do you think the final DLC for Warhammer 2 will be that early adopter bonus and it will feed into Warhammer 3? Let me know down in the comment section. Obviously, the speculation is that the final DLC for Warhammer 2 will be Beastmen. It will give them an overhaul as well, and that will play in nicely. Seeing as Game 3 is all about chaos and Beastmen in the mix as well. Next question on the FAQ. Will Total Warhammer 3 reviews land before the game is released? Yes. As with all recent Total War titles, our review embargo will drop before launch, allowing you time to decide whether to pre-order and get the early adopter bonus if you like. Now, obviously, I have no idea what Creative Assembly's content creator plans are and early access and embargoes. I would, guess once the release date is announced, minimum a week before, I would have thought we'll start seeing content from creators. Hopefully it'll be about 2 weeks before. CA have been actually getting better and better with the way they do their content creator early access embargoes for, the last few years, to be honest. But recently they've been giving us access well ahead of releases, which just gives us time to actually learn to play the new content so that we can show it off as best as possible. So I'm hoping personally 2 weeks before release, before launch, would be great to be able to start showing you guys some stuff. But if it's just a week before, that's fair enough as well. Obviously they want to keep things under wrap, and they obviously want to release their own Let's Plays and things like that. But there will definitely be reviews, and there'll definitely be some content from me and other content creators in early access before the game is officially released. Content. Is Total War Warhammer 3 going to be set during the end times and featuring stuff from Age of Sigmar? No. As with Total War Warhammer and Total War Warhammer 2, Total War Warhammer 3 is set around the reign of Karl Franz. Our primary source is Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th edition, although we have and will continue to use older editions for inspiration where appropriate. What races will be available in Total War Warhammer 3 at launch? We are excited to be able to confirm that Total War Warhammer 3 contains a wider selection of individual races than any previous Total War Warhammer core title. Deep within the realms of chaos, the 4 ruinous powers of Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, and Khorne prepare for war, and 2 mighty kingdoms stand sentinel, the stern warriors of Kislev and the vast empire of Grand Cathay. So that's going to be 6 core races, 6 factions playable at launch. Typically in the past, we've had 4. Often they've marketed them as 3 and then had a 4th secret faction, as it were. Skaven with that faction in Warhammer 2. So do we think 6 is it, or do we think there's a secret 7th faction? If so, who would it be? Obviously, there's no sign of Chaos Dwarves, Ogre Kingdoms, or Nippon potentially at the moment, but they could well be DLC as well. And if 6 core starting races wasn't enough, we're going to be able to play as 9 Legendary Lords at launch. So obviously, I reckon that's going to be 1 for each of the Ruinous Powers of Chaos, Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, and Khorne. And then Kislev and Grand Cathay, one of them is going to have 2 and the other's going to have 3, unless one of those Ruinous Powers has an extra one or something, or it's divvied up differently. Or, I don't know, some of them could have 2 and Kislev and Grand Cathay just have 1. Or what do you think the spread of that's going to be? Who do you think the Legendary Lords are going to be for these 6 core races? Obviously, for Kislev, the only one that I really know is going to be Katarine Boka, the Tsarina, the Ice Queen of Kislev. That's like the only character I know because I did a quick Google because I've been waiting for Kislev ever since people mentioned Bear Cavalry, and I can 100%. I know I haven't specified about who I'm going to play as yet for my 3 launch Let's Plays, but Kislev is definitely going to be one of them, and then it will be 2 of the Ruinous Powers as the other series. But yeah, Kislev 100% going to be playing that for sure. Can't wait. Want to Ice Queen it up. Apparently, the I guess the Law of Ice magic, that's meant to be some of the strongest magic, if I'm not mistaken, in all of the Warhammer Fantasy world. But feel free to enlighten me if I'm completely wrong with my facts and info there. And yeah, let me know some cool Ice Queen, Ice Witches, Ice Mage stuff. What cool spells can we expect to see? Talking of Kislev, is all this new Kislev and Cathay content for Total Warhammer 3 legit? Yes. Games Workshop have expanded and created these factions and partnered with us. You can find out all about it on the Warhammer community, and there's a link to that via the FAQ link in the description. And apparently there's some awesome interviews in there. So I think I might have to make another follow-up video about Kislev here. I might have to make a follow-up video going through that stuff next week, I think. If you want to see that, let me know down in the comment section. Will there be a combined map for owners of all 3 games? Yes. Although their current focus is on Total Warhammer 3. So again, it's not going to be a launch thing. Mortal Empires for Warhammer 2 wasn't a launch feature. It came, I can't actually remember how many months afterwards. To be fair, they did have a bit of a mess with Norska. It didn't quite load and work. Something to do with the map and bits there. They had to kind of redo it, I think. But obviously, I think they probably learnt from that. So hopefully I'm about to say Game 3's map. The Mortal Empires map for Games 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully it'll come sooner rather than later after the release. But obviously it's going to have its own campaign. It seems like it's going to very much focus, in that area between Kislev and Cathay and the Realm of Chaos as well. But yeah, apparently more info on Mortal Empires, or whatever they're going to call the combined map for Game 3, coming later. There is a little note that does say that you will need to own all 3 parts of the trilogy on a single storefront, though, in order to claim the free combined map, Mortal Empires, whatever it's called, DLC, that allow you to play all the game's campaigns, factions, on one massive map. Obviously, they have said, discussed it previously from this FAQ, that their end goal is to enable some kind of integration through Total War Access that allow you to link your Steam and Epic accounts together, and then you can share games and DLC, and then it should work. But obviously at launch, and probably by the time the Mortal Empires or combined map comes out, that's not going to be ready. It's still very much a work in progress. So yeah, just bear that in mind. If you are thinking of picking up Warhammer 3, say on Epic, you'll need to make sure that you get game 1 and 2 on there as well if you want to then be able to play that combined map campaign at some point in the future. Because yeah, if you get it on Steam, then you already have game 1 and 2 there if you pick them up already. Will you be continuing support for Total War Warhammer 2 after the launch of Total War Warhammer 3? As you might expect, Creative Assembly's focus will shift towards supporting Total War Warhammer 3 following its launch. However, before then, there will be a further DLC for Total War Warhammer 2, which CA will be releasing later this year. And obviously that kind of brings us back to when we were discussing a potential Beastmen DLC for Warhammer 2 earlier on in the video, and whether that would be the early adopter bonus or not. I mean, I guess if they've got one more DLC planned, that's likely what it will be, unless they've got something totally different planned for Warhammer 3. You know, obviously we're just speculating based off what they did from Warhammer 1 into Warhammer 2 with that Norska DLC. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there is still one more bit of DLC for Warhammer 2 coming at some point this year. Gameplay, will Total Warhammer 3 be localized in my language? Warhammer 3 will only have English language audio. However, UI and text localization will be available in English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Russian, Polish, Czech, Turkish, Brazilian Portuguese, Korean, and simplified, as well as traditional Chinese. Will Total War Warhammer 3 have multiplayer support at launch? Yes, we'll have more details to share about this as we get closer to launch. Good, I'm glad they're launching with multiplayer. They learned from Troy. But I really do hope that they've also innovated a little bit with multiplayer. Maybe there's a few more game modes, because honestly, the biggest change to multiplayer over the last few years in Total War has been the reintroduction of free-for-all as a multiplayer game mode. And there's just so much more they can offer in multiplayer. Yeah, I get that not a lot of people play it, but I kind of feel that at this point, not a lot of people are playing it because there's not a lot to do besides the basic versus battles. And I'm not expecting them to fully come back with a full Avatar conquest from sort of Shogun 2. I mean, it'd be nice to get there eventually sometime, but, you know, just a few more game modes, a few more compelling reasons to dive into multiplayer. A proper ranked, leaderboard would be good. Obviously, that, is monitored and, stops people from cheating or exploiting their way up it. But, something that offers a little bit more for the competitive scene as well, because they obviously have been pushing their ever-chosen tournaments. So, yeah, just hopefully multiplayer isn't a complete afterthought, and it maybe has a little bit more to it. That would be great. If not at launch, maybe at some point within Game 3's life cycle, some kind of extra content for multiplayer I think would be pretty cool. What would you guys like to see added to multiplayer? What would make it, what would entice you to play it if you haven't done before? Will Total Warhammer 3 support mods at launch? They say yes, and we'll have more details about this close to launch. I was actually a little bit surprised then when I was sort of reacting to that, thinking, but they haven't had the workshop available most of the time for like a month after launch. But then they've been careful to say, they've not said mod workshop, they've said, well, they support mods at launch. So obviously, yes, of course, you can just load mods in the old-fashioned way, putting the pack files into the game folder. Probably, I guess, again, we will see that the Steam Workshop probably takes 3 to 4 weeks, if not slightly longer, to be added in support for the game. And obviously, does Epic have a mod workshop scene yet? They need to work on something for that, for this, because obviously it's a big part of the Total War series and for the Warhammer series as well. I need that better camera mod, and I need those building icons. Those are my go-to. But yes, that is the end of the FAQ. I could ramble on for probably another 30 minutes or so if I really wanted to, but you guys are probably, sick of listening to me already. But yeah, I'm hyped. I'm excited. The announcement trailer is amazing. That music as well. How cool is that? Let me know, say your top 5 takeaways from that announcement trailer and the information I've shared with you guys. Let me know that top 5 stuff down in the comment section. And if we have enough kind of discussion and engagement around that, what I'll probably do is follow up with another video, maybe go through some of those top 5s, maybe just do a bit more research about Kislev and kind of share some of the stuff I'm excited to see coming up. And definitely want to take a look at those Games Workshop kind of press announcements and interviews where they're talking about adding more to Kislev and Cathay. But yeah, also let me know units, models, magic, spells. What are you most excited to see in Warhammer 3? Let the speculation begin. Also, feel free to roll the dice and have a guess at when you think the release date of Warhammer 3 is going to be. As I've said, I reckon it's going to be end of Q3, start of Q4 this year. So I'm going to go for September. If we've got to throw a date to it, CA tend to release on, I think it's a Thursday they tend to release on. Let's go to September. Let's choose a Thursday. Let's go for the middle of September. Let's go for the 16th. Let's guess the 16th of September 2021. That's my guess. What's yours? Let me know down in the comment section. But anyway, again, thanks Creative Assembly for giving me a little bit of early access with the announced trailer and the FAQ and all the information with that. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Get hyped. Warhammer 3 is coming. Till the next one, ciao for now.
Death is like the winter chill. No door can keep it from us. In summer yet may bloom again, though eyes be all upon us.
My child, there is so much to tell you, but I have run out of time. The sacrifice I made was not enough. The dark gods still feed on our transgressions. Corruption. Obsession. Deceit. Rage. You must face these demons.